Happy Crocktober, everyone. Welcome back, friends. If you're new here, welcome. I am so glad you're here. It's getting cooler outside, and a crock pot is a perfect way for us busy parents to get dinner ready on time. I have 4 recipes for you today, and I may or may not have messed up on one of them. However, it was delicious and my family enjoyed it. I'll even show you what I did to doctor up the leftovers. Now that's enough dishing, let's get cooking. I'm going to make pizza in the crock pot. For the crust, you need a can of refrigerated biscuits. I do not have any. However, I can make some. So I'm going to show you how you can make it in case you want to make this recipe and you do not have the can of biscuits yourself, so you can make this homemade version. These are a copycat of Gran's biscuits. So if you like those, you'll like this recipe. I need 1/3 cup of shortening. If you just have margarine or butter, that's fine too. 2 cups of flour. I'm just going to do a little at a time. And then you can mix this with either a fork or a pastry blender. I'll show you how to do it with a fork. Just mash it and then add more. Add the rest. Then I need 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and mix that together. This kind of looks like a dry store-bought pancake mix. Then I need 1 cup of milk. I'm going to slowly add that, just a little at a time, mix it in. This is going to be soft and very wet. We're going to knead this on a floured surface. Now you just need a clean working surface, whether your counter is cleaned off or if you have a silicone mat like this, you can use that. This just makes cleanup a little easier. Some flour add here. I like to keep some extra on the side because I know I'm going to need it. Just spread it around, make sure your hands are clean. And you can take all of the dough or just some of it and dump it onto the surface. I'm just going to do some of it right now. Cover it with flour. Knead it. If you've never kneaded your dough before, you just have start with it like this and just push. Gather it and push. Gather your dough and then just push it out away from you and then just turn it, gather and push. Just going to do this a few times just so it's not sticky. This actually feels pretty good. And then just press it down. It's a little sticky, but put a little flour on there if it's a little sticky. I need 8 biscuits total. I have a round cutter. If you do not have one of these, a glass works, a mug, just dip it in flour so it doesn't stick. Just cut like that. You want 8 of these. You want them about that thick. This always makes more than the store-bought cans of biscuit dough. So any extras, you can actually freeze the dough, thaw it out when you're ready to use it, and roll it out into biscuits. I'm just going to put this in a baggie and freeze it. And if I want to make biscuits with this sometime, I can just pull it out of the freezer, let it thaw, and then make them into biscuits just like these and bake them at 450 degrees for 10 minutes. I have my 8 biscuits and I'm going to cut each biscuit into 6 pieces and then I'm just going to put them in a bowl. I need 1 cup of pepperoni. I just measured it kind of roughly like this. And we're going to cut these into quarters. I have my cut up biscuits. I need half of the pepperoni, approximately. And then some Italian seasoning. I'm just going to sprinkle some on. That looks good. Probably about a teaspoon or so. Just toss it I have my crock pot. I'm going to grease it with some, I'm just going to spray it with some canola oil spray. The bottom and then the sides a little bit too. Ooh. Then dump in the biscuit mixture. I'm going to sprinkle some mozzarella cheese. I'm just going to do a handful, less than a handful actually. Then you need 1 cup of pizza sauce, and I just have homemade sauce. Use what you like. I'm just going to pour that over the top. Then you can sprinkle your pepperoni, the rest of the pepperoni on, and the rest of your cheese. You need about 2 cups of cheese total. If you have less than that, that's okay. Found a little bit more cheese. I'm going to cover the top with a paper towel. That will help the condensation from dripping down onto the biscuits. And then put the lid on top. I'm going to turn this on high for 1.5 to 2 hours. Take some out. The biscuits are fluffy and full of flavor, and they're not dried out like I thought they might be. This is pretty good though. I'm going to make crock-pot pulled pork. This recipe calls for a 3-pound pork shoulder. I have a pork loin that is just under 2 pounds. So I am going to adjust the seasoning for that size of a pork loin. I'm going to make the dry rub. I have 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, half of a teaspoon of pepper, half of a teaspoon of paprika. If you want a little heat, you can add about a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm going to skip that part. And then half of a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to mix this up. This pork loin was in the freezer and I pulled it out yesterday. There's still some ice crystals on here and it's frozen just slightly in the middle, but it'll still work. I'm going to take this rub that I just made, kind of sprinkle it on, and just kind of rub it all around. I'm going to put my pork in here. I'm going to have the fat side down. And then there's some extra rub here. I'm just going to shake that on. Just press it on. Because this is a smaller pork, I'm going to be cooking this on low for 4 to 6 hours. I'm going to check it at 4 hours. I'm pretty sure it's not going to take 6 hours. We will see. So I'm going to cook this 4 to 6 hours on low. I just checked the internal temperature of my pork and it is 145 degrees. This only took 3 hours, so I'm glad I checked it when I did. Take this out, let this sit on the cutting board for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to shred it. It's been resting for 10 minutes, and I'm just going to shred it. And then once it's shredded, I'm going to put it back into the crock pot. All of the pork is shredded. Now I'm going to add barbecue sauce. Just add your favorite barbecue sauce. I just have Kraft Original. I'm going to add, I don't know, maybe a cup. If you are gluten-free, you probably know what kind of barbecue sauce is gluten-free. So just keep an eye on that. And this can be a gluten-free meal. You can serve this on a gluten-free bun. You can serve this on a regular bun if you're not gluten-free. You can serve this over a baked potato. That would be good too. But that is it. You can heat this on low for 2 hours. I am going to put this on warm for probably 3 hours because I think we'll be eating in about 3 hours. So I don't want it to burn. So I'm just going to keep mine on warm. But that is it. Otherwise, it is ready. And that's how you make pulled pork in the crock pot. I'm going to make slow cooker baked rotini. But first, I need to cook my pasta. I have a large saucepan filled 2/3 of the way with water. I'm going to bring that to a boil, and then I'm going to cook up my rotini pasta. I need a 16-ounce box, which is what this is. This is coming to a boil. I'm just going to sprinkle some salt in. And then I'm going to dump in all the pasta. I'm going to stir this, and I am only going to cook this for about 5 minutes. I'm going to have it in the crock pot for about 2 hours, so it will cook there as well. It's been 5 minutes. It is not quite al dente, which is what we want. So I'm going to drain this and then get that in my crock pot. I need 2 cups of ricotta cheese or cottage cheese. The recipe calls for 4 cups of mozzarella cheese. I have about 2 cups. I'm going to make this work. And then just stir that together. I'm going to spray the inside of my crock pot with canola spray, the bottom and the sides. I need 24 ounces of pasta sauce, jar sauce, canned sauce. I actually have some homemade sauce. This is just to show you, you can use any kind of sauce. I need a little bit of sauce in the bottom of the crock pot. I need 24 ounces of sauce. I think I have 28 ounces. And then about half of the pasta on top of that. And then more pasta sauce. I don't know how even this is all going to be, but we shall see. And then I'm going to spoon on the cottage cheese and mozzarella mix, about half of it. This is a vegetarian dish. If you want some meat in there, go ahead and add it. I am not going to. Then I just have a little bit of sauce left. I feel like I'm making this wrong. I'm sure it'll taste good. And add the rest of the pasta. The rest of the sauce, which I don't have much, but I don't know. And the rest of this. I feel like this is wrong. I don't know. I'm going to cover this and cook this on high for 2 hours. Wish me luck, because I don't know if this is going to work. It's been 1 hour and 40 minutes. I'm just going to try the pasta. This is done. I did end up making it wrong. I was supposed to only stir in half of a cup of mozzarella cheese with the cottage cheese, but it turned out just fine. I think my homemade sauce was a little thick. It does look a little dry, but it does not taste dry. It tastes like it has sauce on it, so I think it's just fine. It was a fail in the way I made it, but I think it's going to be delicious. And that's dinner tonight. That's how you make pasta in a crock pot. This is what's left from the pasta the other night, and I am going to be reheating this in the oven. The recipe did not say how much sauce to use. I guess 24 ounces. I ended up using 28 ounces of homemade sauce, although my sauce is pretty thick. If you wanted to try the recipe with 32 ounces, I have this can of sauce. I'm just going to stir in a little bit. I don't need all of this, but some of it just so it's not so dry. I'm not really worried about it being layered like it was before. I'm just going to add some sauce. And then you could top this with more mozzarella if you'd like. I am out, but I do have some cheddar jack cheese. I'm going to cover this with foil. Then I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees for 45 minutes, but up to 1 hour. But I'll check it at 45 minutes. Here's the extra pasta sauce. You can refrigerate this up to 3 days. If you are not going to use it within that time, you can freeze this. And then the next time you have a pasta night, just add this with another jar. And that is how I turn my dry pasta into delicious leftovers. I'm going to make chicken burrito filling in a crock pot. 1 diced green pepper, 1 cup of onion diced if you have it. I do not, but I have onion flakes. So I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of that. 1 15-ounce can of pinto beans drained and rinsed. I cooked up 1 cup of dried pinto beans. That is equal to 2 cans. You could do half of that if you'd like. I'm using less chicken and more beans. Half of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 16 ounces or 2 cups of salsa. The recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of chicken breasts. I had a brilliant idea while I was in my freezer looking for chicken breasts that were not cooked. I found some rotisserie chicken that I had. This is just under a pound. It's probably 3/4 of a pound. And I am going to wait on this because it's already cooked. And I do have extra beans in here, so I feel pretty good about using less meat on this recipe. So for now, I'm just going to cover and cook on low for 5 hours. If you are cooking this with a raw chicken breast, cook it on low for 6 hours. It's been 4 hours, and I am going to stir this, and then I'm going to put my rotisserie chicken in there. It's thawed out. I'm just gonna stick it in there, and then this is still a little frozen inside, but that's okay. It'll be all right. I'm going to cover this and cook it on low for 1 more hour. It's been 1 hour. I'm going to take the chicken out and shred it, and then I'm going to put it back. You get all this chicken in there. Then I'm going to stir this. And add 1.5 cups of instant rice. Stir this in. Cover, put this on high for 20 minutes. This is what it looks like after 20 minutes. And I just tried some and the rice is cooked. So this is ready to go. And that is how you make chicken burrito filling in a crock pot. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Do you have a favorite crock-pot recipe? Let everyone know in the comments down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up if you like this video. Share this video with someone that you think would like it as well. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It's free to you and it really helps out my channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.